It's a chemical in just about everything. Shower curtains, raincoats, even what you eat. Today on Dr. Oz, the secret ingredients companies are hiding in your favorite foods. Plus, an NFL brother who made the ultimate sacrifice.
He's my hero.
To tackle his brother's illness.
Getting healthier every day.
Coming up next on Dr. Oz.
There's a family of chemicals that I need to get on your radar today. The chemicals are known as phthalates, and they used to be found in children's toys and child care products, and we removed them. But now scientists are worried again, because this time they could be showing up in your everyday food.
They're called phthalates, and they're added to plastics to make them more flexible. Now, a study has found they're even turning up in your food. Research shows continued exposure to these toxic chemicals has been linked to endometriosis and weight gain in women, as well as respiratory problems and even brain and behavior changes in infants and children. We wanted to find out how much of this chemical you could be getting exposed to without knowing it. So we conducted our own experiment, testing 10 concerned women to determine if they had high levels of phthalates in their bodies. We sent their tests to a national lab. Today we revealed the results and show how you can protect your family from the chemical found in some of your everyday foods.
So which foods have phthalates in them? These are just some of the foods that phthalates can be found in. Full-fat dairy products like whole milk and cheese, yogurt, butters, ice creams, all these have, because they have a lot of fat, some phthalates in them. And then you have chicken and high-fat meats like bacon. Anything wrapped, frankly, in flexible plastic can get it as well. So let me show you how phthalates get into the food. How does that even happen? Well, plastics are often softened with flexible chemicals called phthalates. That's what it looks like. It's not naturally found, but it makes the plastic able to move around and bend around so it can be wrapping around the things that it has to wrap around. These are then made into all kinds of products. Conveyor belts, it can be made into plastic lids from the cups that we drink from, plastic containers, and of course, they're the kinds of plastic wrappings that you often see at the meat counter. Phthalates can even get into your foods in less obvious ways than these. For example, take your family's milk. Cows are milked with flexible tubing, plastic tubing. And when the warm, fresh milk travels through these tubes, those same phthalate chemicals leach into the milk. And later, that milk is turned into cheeses and butters and yogurts and ice creams that fill the counters, the supermarket shelves that we shop on. So we conducted our own experiment, testing 10 women. I wanted to know if they had phthalates in their bodies. And I've got all 10 of you here today, and we've talked about your results. Let me see a show of hands. How many of you had heard of phthalates before the show today? Hands up. Nobody? Not really? Well, 5 of you, half of you tested positive for phthalates. So Gail, let me start with you. Did you ever think that your urine would test positive?
No, because I didn't even know what it was.
Yeah.
I had no idea that this would have come out.
So Shay, you probably were surprised by that as well.
Well, I had just heard that it's not good to microwave your plastics. That's the only thing that I heard from emails from relatives that cared, but I just didn't know what they were.
That is good advice. It's unfortunately just a bit of the advice you have to hear. We're going to walk through a lot more today. But I got to say, it wasn't just that a lot of you had phthalates in your blood. It was how much phthalate you had in your body. And two of you had tested in the 95th percentile for these chemicals. So I'm going to share that it's Lisa and Angela. You had the highest levels of all. So Lisa, what goes through your mind when you hear about those testing numbers?
I worry. I worry for my future, what this means later on, after effects, cancer. I have 3 kids and I worry.
Well, in fairness, if they're in your body, they're probably in the kids' bodies as well. So it's not just about us getting hurt, it's about the fact that the kids may be even more vulnerable, and we'll talk about that a little.
Doing incorrectly.
Isn't that interesting? You're doing what you think is right for your family, and yet without realizing it, even wholesome foods like dairy might be introducing, if we're not doing it the right way, some of these plastics. And Angela, how do you feel knowing your levels were so high?
I'm nervous. I'm fearful. My biggest fear is the long term, the cancer. And now, is it reversible? Can I change it?
Can I set your heart at ease a little here? Mm-hmm. It is reversible. Yeah, and how is the question, right? That's why we're all here today. But that's the big issue. How do you do it? But I can tell you this, it can be done, and that's what the show's about. And we can do it ourselves. We don't have to wait for anyone else to change anything. And if we can do this the right way, we'll change a lot of other minds today and save a lot of people. All right, helping me sound the alarm is pediatrician Dr. Alan Green and activist mother Maya James, who's made it her mission to get phthalates out of her family's food. Dr. Green, thanks for joining us again.
Thank you.
Maya, I appreciate it. Are you surprised at the levels that we found in our audience?
So phthalates are man-made chemicals that didn't even exist until the 20th century. And now studies have shown that they're in most of us. There was a recent big study testing a whole bunch of different phthalates, and 98% of urine tests were positive for phthalates.
So two of our guests, Lisa and Angela, tested the 95th percentile. What does this really mean? I mean, what do these chemicals do? What are the risks?
So for things that are in so many of us, we know really shockingly little about phthalates, but there are a couple things we do know. We do know that when they're given to animals in carefully controlled studies, they do cause certain health problems. And we also know that if you just go out and measure phthalate levels in people, they tend to have a higher rate of those same problems. Yeah. But that's not enough to prove the cause, but it is enough to really be concerned. So what kinds of things are we talking about? Number one is reproductive problems. And in men, this might be things like testicular dysfunction. In women, things like endometriosis. And in baby boys, things like genital malformation, genitals not forming normally. So
they're big problems.
Big problems. Number two is increased waist circumference. And we're talking about people with higher phthalate levels having a bigger waist size, even if they eat the exact same number of calories and have the exact same exercise. So it changes metabolism. Number three, or it potentially changes metabolism. Number three is, along that same lines, increased insulin resistance, problems with blood sugar. It's a precursor to diabetes.
These are some of the fundamental problems we face in America. You're talking about obesity and infertility and diabetes. Maya, why are you so passionate about phthalates?
Well, because I'm someone who had what most people would consider a very healthful diet, and during my pregnancies I was probably a bit smug about all the wonderful nutrition I was providing for my unborn baby. And as I started to dig a little deeper and learned that even in the foods that we consider very healthful, there are all of these chemicals, phthalates being the most frightening, that are still getting in our bodies, and particularly when you're pregnant, I know that just becomes terrifying.
You're a mom.
Yes.
That's why I wanted you to actually be here, because I think you speak for so many women who are trying to do the right things. You're making all of the decisions you think your family will benefit from, just like these wonderful women we tested today, and yet there are phthalates on your family's table. How do you avoid that? How do you change that?
I mean, honestly, it's difficult because, again, it's not intuitive. These phthalates are not found in typically what we think of as junk foods. So you have to educate yourself. This is why I started a business on trying to help other moms figure out where chemicals are hiding and how to avoid them. So, plastic obviously is probably the biggest source. And so the fewer processed foods you have on your table, the fewer opportunities the food has had to come in contact with plastic. And then once it's in your home, storing it in glass or stainless steel, and just avoiding plastic really altogether.
That's great. How do you know if it's in your food?
Well, here's the thing. What we eat is now the major source of most phthalates that we get into our bodies, but it's never on a food label. It happens somewhere in the production or in the manufacturing or in the packaging or in the preparation or storage, but you don't know. So there's a few clues you can look at. The higher the fat the food, the more likely phthalates might be to hide there. And the other thing is, the more it's come into contact with certain plastics or certain pesticides along the way, the higher the chance of phthalates.
Lisa appropriately mentioned the fact she was worried about her kids. And that's the first place a mom's mind goes. How big is a deal of these phthalates for kids?
That's the first place my mind goes too. The National Toxicology Program has serious concern, their highest level of concern, about certain segments of kids, and I think for good reason. There was a 2014 study where they went out and tested a lot of foods to see how much phthalates were in there, and then looked at what kids actually eat. And they found that our youngest kids are routinely exposed to more than 2 times the EPA safety limit for phthalates. Yeah. And teenagers, adolescents, if they eat a high-fat diet, which a lot of teens do, routinely every day get more phthalates than the EPA safety limit.
So let's talk about some of these official statements. We actually reached out to the American Chemistry Council about phthalates found in our foods, and this is what they said in part. Phthalates have undergone numerous scientific reviews at government agencies, and the conclusions have been essentially the same. Phthalates used in commercial products do not pose a risk to human health at typical exposure levels. So how do you respond to that?
Well, we just looked at this study showing that typical exposure levels at some ages and with some diet types do hit the U.S. government regulations. But that's some ages and some diet types. There was a recent 2014 study that said for all ages and all diet types, typical people are above the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission safe level, their allowable daily intake. But let's set aside regulations for a second and set aside the idea of business or politics and look at real-world people with real problems, with real levels and real exposures. And that's what these studies are we've been talking about. Now, most women are not going to get endometriosis, whether they've been exposed to phthalates or not. Most will not. But women at the 75th percentile or higher are more than 2 times more likely to end up with endometriosis. This is a real thing.
So let's talk about the real world. What should women do right now in their own homes to reduce the phthalate exposure they have?
So 4 tips. One of the places they're consistently found at high levels are in the highest fat dairy products, things like cream and butter. The lower the fat, the lower the likelihood of phthalates, or likely lower level of phthalates. Number 2, they're pretty high levels in meat and poultry often. We don't even know how it gets there. It might be from plastic containers from the feed. It might be from pesticide residue on the feed. It might be the wrapping that they're wrapped in. So my best bet when it comes, if you do meat or poultry, to choose lean cuts or skinless poultry, to choose organic, pasture-fed if possible, to choose it freshly wrapped. It hasn't been sitting there for a while, and preferably wrapped in paper. Next one, number 3, is fruits and vegetables. The more fruits and vegetables in the diet, typically the lower phthalate levels, and again, organic even better, because you could avoid some of those pesticides. And lastly, just think about plastic anywhere in the production, manufacturing, storage, preparation, wrapping, any of that. Try to avoid plastic with foods.
So, Maya, in your family, right now, what do you do to reduce phthalates? Practical, simple things you do at home in the kitchen.
Yep, we've tried to cut out some of our meat and dairy consumption, pretty much exclusively organic and grass-fed dairy and meat where possible. And then just really being careful about storing anything in plastic and really never heating anything in plastic.
So let's break it down, Dr. Green, for these wonderful women over here who tested high, and I can guarantee for most people can hear my voice because so many of us have phthalates in our blood, the majority of us. How long does it take to reduce the levels if you do the things we talked about today?
So here's the good news. There was a really nice study. It was actually done in part by the government, by the EPA. And they took some healthy volunteers, middle of life, and they actually had them fast for a little bit. I'm not recommending this for everybody to not eat. But what they did is they measured their urinary phthalates. They did 118 different tests. And within 24 hours of stopping it in your food, just in your food, the levels went down 5 to 10 times lower than they were at the start. And they stayed low throughout the test until they went back on their regular diet and it shot back up again.
So within a day, you are seeing benefits.
Within a day, you can be better off.
Thanks for the good news to both of you. And to my wonderful audience members who are getting tested for doing that as well. We'll be right back.
Coming up, are the diet foods you eat making you fat? What are your biggest challenges when buying them at the market? How these favorites may be tripping you up? And the simple tricks to make them work for you and help you lose the weight. Next. Reality star Kendra Wilkinson and the scandal that's affecting her health.
You said that you just need to know the truth. What do you think that truth is?
All new Dr. Oz. That's coming up on Monday.
It's time for Your Best Body, the segment where I give you tips and tricks to lose weight in the healthiest possible way. Today I'm tackling the diet foods making you fat. To help us out, I brought in registered dietitian Sharon Richter. Welcome to the show. Mia's here as well from the audience.
Hi.
So Mia, when you go shopping, trying to do the best things possible, making sure you buy the foods that will help you lose weight. What are the biggest difficulties?
Dr. Oz, I'm telling you, the ingredients are so confusing, low fat, fat free. Everything just seems like so confusing. I just don't know what to buy. So I just buy what I want and I end up being fat.
So Sharon, what are the biggest mistakes we're making? What are the counterintuitive realities of diet foods?
One of the biggest things is when it's diet, they're taking something out, so what they add in is sugar and salt. So it's not really going to be good for you. We see the words diet and we're like, wow, I can eat as much as I want. And half the time it doesn't even taste good, so we keep eating and eating and eating, so we're not getting anywhere.
Sound familiar, Mia?
Sounds familiar.
Let's march on over here. Go to the first one.
All right.
First one is we get rid of a diet food that unfortunately is making us fat, and something that I usually adore. It's called Greek yogurt. Now, how much Greek yogurt do you eat, and what kinds of experiences are you having with it?
I love Greek yogurt. I eat probably one a day, I'm going to be honest with you. And I just buy what's on sale, and I like fruit in it. I like berry flavored, so I just love it.
So I gotta say, I personally adore Greek yogurt. I think we spend a lot of time on the show supporting it as a huge benefit, and some kinds are fantastic for you. But unfortunately, it doesn't always help us. What's wrong with Greek yogurt sometimes?
So sometimes the problem is that they are loaded with sugar. When you get these fruit-flavored ones, they put sugar in it. They're just not putting fruit in it. So you got to be really careful, and that's what you have to read on that label is how much sugar is in it.
I was shocked by this. In fact, I did a show on this recently, last year, where I went out and analyzed every Greek yogurt on the market, and I was shocked to see how many were high in sugar. These are some brands that I thought were, pretty reputable, but still, in order to, go after the taste of some folks who just want sweet stuff, they add sugar to it. So Sharon, if you don't like plain yogurt, which is what I like, which you'll always be okay with, pretty much.
Yeah.
What should you do?
I know it's hard. A lot of people don't like the plain; it has no taste. But some of the things I like to do.
It's a good taste. Sharon.
Not everybody loves it. So what I like to do is I take frozen berries, put them in the microwave, and it makes like a syrup, so the whole thing is flavored. So we can add some of these berries in. Also, you could add cinnamon, which is terrific for you. You can add cocoa powder if you like chocolate flavored. So add some of your favorite fruits so you flavor it, but no added sugar.
Good idea.
Easy to do. I usually have blueberries in the morning. I don't usually heat them up. Oh, it's a good idea. But if they're frozen, you get syrupy. It's the best.
Oh,
and
okay.
it's real.
Nice.
All right. By the way, I have my list of the best Greek yogurts, the ones that I personally like a lot. They're on DrOz.com. Please use that as a gauge so you don't get head faked on this. Next surprising diet food making you fat is another favorite. It's called hummus. I adore hummus. Yeah, everyone's shocked, I know, but hold a second here. I'm going to explain why. I'm not throwing out the hummus with the bathwater. I want you to take one of these chips and show me how much hummus you typically eat.
I kill it.
You kill it? All right, don't eat that. You won't be able to talk anymore.
Okay.
All right, so that's and how many of these chips would you normally have?
Probably like 5 or 6. I snack on it while I'm cooking dinner.
All right.
So here we go. Look, that and that are almost the same thing, and this is what a serving is. So if you're having 5 or 6 of those while you're cooking, you're having 5 or 6 servings.
Wow, okay.
So though hummus is great because it has chickpeas, which has fiber in it, and protein, terrific, you just got to watch the portion on it.
Got it.
Step away from the hummus, put that down.
Okay.
Now, what should she do? Because I do think folks ought to be able to eat hummus.
Yeah.
To be able to eat the amount they want without too many calories.
Exactly. So you want to have a little volume. We want to add something healthy, like the Greek yogurt we talked about before. It's going to add protein and calcium. Add it to the hummus like we did here, and you'll increase your volume. Additional, what we did was we changed the vehicle. Instead of these fried chips that have a lot of fat, we used some vegetables.
May I?
Not like a handsome man feeding.
All right. Is that reasonably tasting?
It is tasty. I like it. It's good.
Again, the beauty of this is we actually are dealing with what we actually experience in life. You're not going to eat one of these chips with that serving size. It's not practical. Okay, next surprising diet food making you fat, cottage cheese. You buy cottage cheese as part of your plan?
I do.
What kind do you get?
Fat-free,
Of course.
usually. Yeah.
Fat-free, everybody? Fat-free? Yeah, I want you. Even the guys want like this, yeah. Now put up a poll on DrOz.com. I want to know exactly how many of you eat fat-free cottage cheese. 54% of you, over half, said yes. They endorse it. So Sharon, what concerns you about fat-free cottage cheese?
So this goes to one of my rules. When we take out something, we're adding something. We took out the fat, so we added salt.
Oh, wow.
That's a lot
So many
of
people
salt.
trying to watch their weight also have to watch their sodium intake.
So we can't do that to ourselves.
No.
So what options can you offer?
So we always like things low fat, doesn't have to be fat free. The low fat cottage cheese actually doesn't have as much salt. Or you could even go with something like ricotta cheese, which is terrific. And even change it up. Don't do it like you always do with pineapple or fruit. I like doing with vegetables such as cucumbers and tomatoes. So you're not even adding extra calories, you're just adding vitamins.
Never would have thought of that.
Do you eat ricotta cheese at all?
I've had it in lasagna.
Yeah, that's what most of us get. I tell you, this is going to change your day in a big way. Ricotta cheese tastes fabulous on its own. You can use it as a replacement for the cottage cheese. And again, in the way that Dr. Sharon's describing it, you don't have to worry about the salt that much anymore.
It's alternative.
All right, come on over. Let's move on to the diet food. The last one that's unfortunately one of the biggest problems. Now, before the show, I did a little experiment, a social experiment with the audience. I gave 20 of my audience members $1 and $1 only, and I asked them to pick the healthiest snack from our studio vending machine. We have many options in there. Out of 20 of you involved in this experiment, 14 chose this. That's 70%, chose trail mix. Is that part of your life?
I eat it while I'm driving. Like, I just take a whole handful and just like, yeah.
And it's good for you, right? It's trail mix.
That's what I'm thinking. I got the chocolate chips so I can get my sweet and salty all at the same time.
Just a little, just the right amount.
Right.
Sharon, what's the problem
Again,
with trail
here's
mix?
the problem. The trail mix has often fried things in it, like the fried bananas. Often some of the fruit that's in it, like the cranberries, are covered in sugar added. We have M&Ms or any kind of chocolate candy in it. That's not going to be good. But it definitely has good things like nuts in it, so we can make our own healthy trail mix.
Okay.
So, for example?
For example, let's take some almonds, and then we can add some volume.
Just take the chocolate.
So there you go. You got your little sweet. Add a little salt, maybe some popcorn in there.
Yeah, but make it yourself. You know what's in there. You can sort of bias away from the things you're going to know will be problematic, because what you do is what I do. You're going to blindly put your hand in there when you're driving or whatever else you're doing in life. And so trail mix is designed to be blindly eaten. Put the stuff in there that you can eat the right way.
Good idea.
I've enjoyed having you on, Mia.
Thank you.
Wonderful advice. You can get lots more Sharon's advice. In fact, a list of the top 10 diet foods to steer clear of on DrOz.com. I'll be right back.
Coming up, her YouTube videos have attracted 1 billion fans, transforming the faces of women online and off. Now, the beauty blogger sensation is here to answer your questions. Simple tips and ideas to make you look even younger. Next.
Her YouTube videos have more than 1 billion views around the world, taking the internet by storm. She's the beauty blogger who is virtually transforming the faces of women. Michelle Phan.
From producing how-to videos on her laptop to landing deals with major makeup labels, beauty blogger Michelle Phan's journey is a true Cinderella story. Growing up with her family, living paycheck to paycheck, Michelle worked multiple jobs to save money for school. In 2007, she made her first makeup tutorial on YouTube as a project for the design school she was attending. Within a week, the video had over 40,000 views, and Michelle was on her way to becoming a viral sensation. Since that fateful first post, she has produced and starred in over 250 videos. The success of her YouTube channel led to deals with Lancome and L'Oreal. And now Michelle Phan is the go-to makeup guru for girls all around the world.
Here she is in person. I keep watching your videos, and more like I watch my daughters watching your videos.
You sure? Because your brows look on point, let me tell you. They look really good.
I've been working on them. Right? You have made a career out of inspiring women. What is the power, the magic of makeup?
The magic of makeup is really giving the power into the person's hands, that they can transform their beauty. And no different than Clark Kent when he turns into Superman. He already has superpowers, but when he's putting on that costume, everyone in the world knows right when he steps outside that he is Superman.
All right, so I took a cue out of Michelle's playbook, and I posted on my social media pages asking women what they wanted to change the most about their faces. The response, overwhelmingly, and not surprisingly, was to look younger. So today, Michelle's gonna do just that. She's gonna help all of you. Now, Tisha tweeted a video. Here's a video about her dark circles.
The one thing that I would change about my face is the dark circles under my eyes. When I turned 40, the dark circles appeared. I feel like I look twice my age. Dr. Oz, how can I look young again?
All right, now, here's what Katisha looked like before. You see her there. You want to see her now? Yes. It's Michelle's magic on her. Ta-da! That's pretty cool. How do you think you look?
Well, Dr. Oz, as a woman, it's hard to think that you're getting older. But with this easy fix, it was easy for me to do, and I just feel confident. And Dr. Oz, I feel hot.
You feel hot? Wait, you are hot.
Yes.
I saw that video. I thought you were 20 when you sent that little video in.
Thank you.
All right. So what'd you do, Michelle?
It was very simple. Every single woman should have this in her makeup bag right now. It's called a highlighter, and unlike, there's this whole old trick where if you have dark circles, you put concealer on it. Now what you can do instead is you can apply a little bit of highlighter using the tools that God gave you, your hands, the best tools ever. And what you want to do is you just want to add this right on the cheekbones. And what this does is that it illuminates this area, reflecting light onto your eyes, illuminating it and making it brighter.
Oh, you don't put it where you have the circles. You put it beneath that.
No, you put it right beneath it, yes.
I could use that.
Well, let's do it right now. Let's do it.
I have little bags under it all the time.
Beautiful.
You and I can go out. Like, what do you think now? Look at this.
It's 21 years old right there.
Right. Thank you very much. Next up, Anita posted on my Facebook about her eyelashes. Here's what she said. Dr. Oz, when I was younger, I had beautiful eyelashes and never used mascara. Now they are thinning faster than ever. How can I make them look fuller? Michelle showed you how to fix your eyelashes. Don't say anything yet. So I'm going to show the audience you, but you've probably seen yourself in the mirror, I hope. Here's what Anita looked like before. And here's beautiful Anita now. Isn't that cool? What do you think? Do you like that look?
I love it. I love it.
What do you like the most about it?
I feel young again. Tomorrow I'll be 48, and I feel
You're
like
kidding me. Oh
I'm
my gosh.
look almost 28.
Oh, my guests really do look 28. What did you do, Michelle? Teach us.
Very simple. All you need is a black eyeliner. Again, every woman should have this in her makeup bag. These are very easy, accessible tips that you can do at home right now, or even if you have a makeup bag right now, you can do it. So take your eyeliner, and I'm doing this trick called tight lining. And what you want to do is you want to take your pinky finger and lift up the eyelids, and with your eyeliner, just quickly run the eyeliner on the upper waterline. And what this does is that it creates the illusion of a thicker lash line. And you can see right there.
All right, thank you very much. One more. You want one more tip? Yeah. All right, one more tip. Becky Instagrammed this message to us. It's a photo of her thinning lips. It says, I'm starting to look like my grandma. She wasn't the only one who said that, by the way. My upper lip is shrinking. What can I do to make my lips look fuller? Of course, when you lose collagen, you don't just lose it from your face, you lose it from your lips as well, not surprisingly. Here's Becky before Michelle worked her magic. And here she is now. What a beautiful smile you have, by the way.
Yes.
Becky, what do you think? That's pretty cool. You like that?
I love them. It's definitely not my grandmother's lips anymore.
And you didn't have anything injected?
No.
Nothing injected. I mean, it looks a lot bigger.
Yeah, they look full, right?
Yeah. So how do you do that, Michelle?
It's a very simple illusion painting technique.
Actually, audience, as a little present, party gift, you all have lipstick.
Everyone has a lipstick, right?
And a
all right,
mirror,
everyone
right?
break out their lipstick. Boys, you do it too.
Yeah, guys.
All right, come on.
Al will do it too. You don't have an extra one for me. All right, I'll use the eyeliner. All right.
All right, so with your mirror, make sure you're looking into the mirror because we don't want you to apply it on without it. So what I'm going to teach you guys is this technique called overdrawing. And so, you know, like in school, you were taught to color within the lines. Well, we're going to break that rule, and we're going to color outside the natural lip line of your lips. And so what you want to do is you want to take your lipstick, and with the point, just very carefully paint outside the border of your natural lip line. You can create endless amounts of looks with just a swipe here and a little touch there.
Do you do it to your lips too?
No. Well, my lips
They're
are
full.
naturally full. Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Mom. All right. You can check out Michelle's new book. It's called Makeup, Your Life Guide to Beauty, Style, and Success, online and off. I'll be right back. Nicely done, Michelle.
Next, still throwing out those used tea bags? You won't after this. Those brewed bags are steeped with a ton of new uses. A blend of soothing remedies, cooking tips, and cleaning ideas anyone can use. Easy and affordable, just your cup of tea. Next. Reality star Kendra Wilkinson and the scandal that's affecting her health.
You said that you just need to know the truth. What do you think that truth is?
All new Dr. Oz. That's coming up on Monday.
It is time for new uses for everyday things. Now, I've picked something that's already in your house. It's got to be affordable, and there are 10 easy uses for them. So today, I look high and low, and it's all about tea bags. I've scrolled through social media and found my viewers' best uses, innovative uses for tea bags. And these two hashtags caught my eye right away. There is hashtag #BeeStingNoMore and hashtag #TeaSoothes. The first use today is tea bags as an insect bite and sting relief weapon. Jennifer's here. She says she got stung by a bee and did not know what to do. Jennifer, what happened?
Well, Dr. Oz, I'm from Texas, and as they say, everything in Texas is big, including the bees and the bee stings. Ooh. So I was outside working in my yard, doing a few little yard work, and I got stung by a bee. I haven't been stung by a bee in a long time, so I did a little research, and I found the answer to alleviating the pain is tea bags.
Will you show me?
Sure.
Here goes. Ooh.
Ooh. So you brew some tea, and when you're done with the bag, you place it in the freezer for about 5 minutes.
You lay them out like this.
Bring them out. You take a tea bag, and you place it on the bee sting.
That's it?
That's it. It works all the time.
So this is a smart way.
Thank
Another
you.
use for a tea bag. Great advice. All right, now to our next everyday use. When I saw the hashtag tea makes me young again on Twitter, I knew I had to meet the lady who was using tea as an anti-ager, and she's coming here right now. Roberta, how'd you discover that?
Hi, how are you? A couple of years ago when I turned 50, I said I wanted to look 40. And so I started looking for more natural ways to do it. I had had facials before, steaming I knew was good, but the more research I did, the more I said that green tea made it even better.
But it is working. Will you share it with us?
I certainly will.
Give me the details.
So basically you have it set up. You can either use a kettle with hot boiling water, reuse tea bags you've already used before, or put a few in the bowl, put the whole bowl in the microwave, steam it just till it rises, not too boiling or you'll hurt yourself. Look real pretty doing this, and just put your entire face over the bowl.
Not in the bowl.
And not in the bowl for about 10 minutes. And it's incredible. The steam opens your pores. It feels great, you know, and I love it.
So I love the fact that you're trying this and your face looks like it is glowing. Doesn't she? All right. Our next everyday use for tea bags, and I admit when I saw this, hashtag I wasn't sure what to think of. It is hashtag vacuum with tea. Take a look.
Dr. Oz, I'm a busy mom of 3 adorable but smelly kids. Between playtime and mealtime, my carpets suffer big time. They stink. So what's my secret for handling the odor? Tea.
Tea is a carpet deodorizer. Who would have thought? Cheryl, what gave you the crazy idea to try this?
Well, first of all, I love drinking lavender tea. And so I've heard some of my friends talk about how amazing lavender tea will work to create a fresh smell in your carpet. So I figured, let me do a little research. I tried it, and Dr. Oz, it works.
Will you show us how you do it?
Absolutely. So this is what I do. After I've had my mommy time out with my tea, I sipped on my tea, I take the bags, I let them completely dry out. And then I open them up, and I literally spread them on my carpet. Let's do this here. And I let them stay there for just about 10 minutes. And after I do that, I vacuum. So why don't we have you vacuum, Dr. Oz?
I get to vacuum.
This is how I do with my husband, so.
I actually know how to do this. See a foot there? Aha! Didn't think I could do it. I can do it left-handed too.
Do you smell? I smell that already. That lavender is so potent. Look, he's good.
All right. So, I got very, very smart. Lavender, as you know, it doesn't just make you feel better. It actually is remarkably impactful as an aromatherapy for stress relief. And putting it on the carpet will make the carpet smell great for free because you have already used the bag. But I love that idea too. But I also love the fact that your kids are getting this little aromatherapy and they don't even know it.
That's right.
Diabolically clever.
I'm raising little baby carpet sniffers. I don't know.
All right. Good job. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Let's go on to the last use for tea bags. This is hashtag tea as a tenderizer. And when I saw this picture on Pinterest, my mouth literally started watering. Jen is here. It's her creation. The pot roast is unbelievable.
Thank you.
So explain to us how you do it.
We take 8 tea bags, we empty them, we put them in 3.5 cups of water. We let it boil for about 10 minutes and steep, and then we take the tea and strain it with the...
So straightforward. And this becomes the marinade, so to speak?
Yes. And you marinate it overnight. Got this?
And then just pour this around the meat?
Yes.
Oh, I'm going to use this at home, and I'm going to say it's my idea.
No.
Yes.
Don't steal it.
Oh, please.
It's
Come on. It's just,
my
I'm just
picture's on it.
Just in my home, I'll be saying this. And then it tastes like this?
Yes.
May I?
Of course.
I need someone else. Who wants, yeah, right there, the red hair. Come up here. I want a third party to taste this with me. Yeah. You taste that, and I'll taste this. Let's give it an honest opinion.
That's really good.
That's really good. There's more. There's more surprising ways to use tea bags around your house. You go to droz.com. We'll be right back.
Coming up, the remarkable story of 2 NFL brothers, one suffering from a life-threatening condition, and the other who made the ultimate sacrifice to save his brother's life. What he did to tackle his brother's illness. Coming up next.
Would you give up your career, even stardom, for the sake of your family? Well, that's exactly what Baltimore Ravens player Maake Komeatu did for his younger brother when he quit the NFL to save his life.
Pro football player Maake Komeatu, the oldest of 7 kids, always steps up for his family when they need help. This past summer was no exception. Maake's younger brother Chris, also an NFL player, was forced to leave football when a kidney disease he developed in childhood progressed to a life-threatening state. So, Maake volunteered to donate his own kidney to save Chris. The decision forced Make to cut his own NFL career short. But that sacrifice paid off. The brothers, who are both well on their way to recovery, say the game of life is what truly matters, and they are happy to be in it together.
Make and Chris, thank you both for being here. You certainly filled the studio. These are the two biggest men I've ever had on the set. So Chris, how you doing with your new kidney?
Feeling great. Every day it's getting better and better, getting healthier every day. So,
Make, usually the person giving the kidney has a bigger problem because the person getting it feels so much better that they're alive again, whereas the person giving it was actually perfectly healthy before it all started.
Yeah, we had to learn a lot. I had to prepare myself for the surgery first, and then I guess the biggest preparation was recovering. Coughing and stuff because the surgery goes, your appendix. So the recovery was fine for me after a week, of course. So
let's talk about that big decision. Here you are, Super Bowl champion. You're, well respected. A couple more years at least, maybe a lot more years of playing. How difficult was it for you to say, I'm going to give up my stardom, my career, to help my family?
It was a no-brainer. I've seen him struggle in the last 3 years of his career. And when it came down time to find a donor between my brothers and I and my dad, and I was a 99% match, and I made my mind up. If I was going to be the best match, I was going to do it.
It's an unbelievable decision at so many levels. Chris, what was it like for you when you first realized you're going to be able to use your brother's kidney, but you'd also end his career? How did that conversation happen?
it was a humbling experience. It started off when we got the second opinion, and they finally told us that I would have to get a transplant. And our bond has definitely been closer and has brought us, everybody, together as a family, not just my family, but my friends, teammates, coaches, everybody.
Mikey, what are your teammates telling you about this huge decision?
My teammates were excited for me, very supportive, and they told me, I was a hero. But to me, the hero is more like my brother, because he had to make the sacrifices, to go through all the pain, the recovery. You would know better when kidneys not working properly. His body is in a lot of pain, a lot of aches, and to watch him go through that, he's my hero. To watch him, fight through it.
Well, we brought actually a real expert in this specific area. Believe it or not, I actually trained under him when I was a medical student. Stephen Bartlett's joining us. He's Chris, a surgeon from the University of Maryland Medical Center. Thanks for joining us after so many years. It's good to see you.
Good to see you again.
These are not just big guys; they're huge guys. What do you guys weigh? May I ask? I mean, this guy probably.
When I'm playing, I'm 350 pounds.
Gosh. I mean, just compare hands here, and I'm a pretty big guy. I mean, it's like a little munchkin over here. What is it like? How does surgery happen in people this large?
Well, when I first met Chris, the first thing that came to my head is, can I do this? I mean, he has an abdomen this deep, and I brought one of my partners in. Can we do this? And we said, yeah, we can do this. But we had one big advantage. He had to go through heart surgery beforehand. And when he had the coronary bypass, which you understand, he lost a great deal of weight, which made the surgery a lot simpler.
Well, in some ways it makes it easier, but others, it takes the wind out of your sails. Come up here, I want to show you something. I've never been able to show this before on the show, but coincidentally with your being here, we were able to identify some different sized kidneys. So these are gloves. God bless you. I hope you can get them on. These are the biggest gloves that are made. Let's see what this looks like here. Well, it's better than I expected, actually. All right, so this is what a normal kidney looks like.
Oh.
You go ahead and feel that.
Wow, that's really hard.
It's pretty hard. Now this is what your kidneys look like.
Ooh, okay.
Which I don't know if you all can see that. There's a big difference. Now,
yeah.
Imagine trying to do a small little dainty operation with kidneys that are that large.
So they had to. This is what Dr. Barley was talking about with the veins and.
Yeah, so he went through your belly button.
Right.
And he snipped off all these connections of this kidney, lifted this kidney out of your body. So now you have this kidney left, but this one's gone. Mm-hmm. Then you take this kidney and you actually put it into the pelvis of your brother, Chris.
Wow.
And that's where it's going to stay with a 99% match, hopefully with the rest of your life, keeping you alive and keeping your family together.
No.
How was this? You mentioned you're closer. I would just love to know what a conversation is like between the two of you now. You probably stopped fighting with each other.
Yeah, you know, in growing up in the family with 7 kids, we were raised in kind of like a tough love, you know. Saying I love you was kind of like, it's funny, whatnot. But when me and him were in the hospital and I was watching him going through all the pain that he was going through, and he had just had a heart surgery, and I wasn't know if I was going to see him the next day or not, because all the pain, the hoses and everything is hooked up to him, and in back of my mind, I said, you know what, I have to say I love you, because I want him to know if something happens, I want him to know that I love him. And so I looked at him and,
Give him a hug. The 2 biggest men to hug on the show. All right. Don't get between there. We'll be right back. I got to stand here like this.
It's the marital crisis that shattered her world.
What the heck just happened? I really, truly want to be married to this man.
Reality star Kendra Wilkinson.
You're not wearing your ring.
The breakdown in her marriage.
You said that you just need to know the truth. What do you think that truth is?
That's taking a toll on her health.
I have no idea how you're holding it together.
This is real life, and I'm still going through it.
All new Dr. Oz. That's coming up on Monday.
I found a great story that I want to share with all of you. At an Active Heroes Foundation fundraiser, cadets challenged civilians to a push-up contest. Now, look what happened when 10-year-old Kaylin Mintz accepted the challenge, and then she proceeded to cream a cadet in the push-up contest. She's 10. Look at that, it's unbelievable. Talk about girl power going there. Now, now it's time for In Case You Missed It. I want you to tackle the diet foods that are making you all fat. Now, believe it or not, some of your favorite diet foods are high in calories, fat, and salt. I found out that 54% of you are eating fat-free cottage cheese. Though it's high in protein, which is a good thing, it can have a lot of sodium, up to 400 milligrams of sodium per serving. It's full of this stuff. So instead, I want you to try part skim ricotta cheese. It's lower in salt, only 80 calories, and it packs 7 grams of protein per serving. Next, I want you to put those leftover tea bags to good use. Once you've had tea, enjoy the tea, wait for the bag to dry. Then you can take the bag, especially if it's got things like lavender in it, and then just put it on your carpet. Spread it out a little bit, let it sit there for about 10 minutes, and then all you gotta do, very simply, watch, I'm really good at this, is you vacuum. And once you're done that, sit back and enjoy the taste. It's free, folks. It smells great, the lavender's a natural stress reliever, and it doesn't cost you anything. You're just using bags you should be using for tea anyway. Now I wanna close with a warning. Please be careful about what you buy online, especially weight loss pills. There's some dubious people online that prey on folks like you who are trying to do the right thing for your health. Sometimes they even make it seem like I'm endorsing their products, which I don't. To see a full list of our trusted sponsorship partners, you can go to droz.com. I'll see you next time.